Monsieur, does this mean Overwatch is back?
Yes.
This is a generational comeback. Massive congratulations to the Overwatch development team because they have managed to reignite and relaunch Overwatch. And it's kind of funny because what they've done is drop the 2 and basically almost brought back everything that existed in Overwatch 1, can we call it, or in old Overwatch, let's say. And we're going to get things like a new endorsement system at the end of games, so kind of like a return to player cards, but a better system for that. But we just need to take a look at this because the numbers are insane. Overwatch is reinventing itself, and I think we really need to take a look at this. So this is every gaming grifter's favorite website, SteamDB. And or maybe you use Steam charts, I don't know. But look at the most played games here. I mean, this is a snapshot taken from last night. So this isn't the same figures as of right now. But what I wanted to show you here is if you look at this, Overwatch, obviously it's on fire because, well, it's reached a new concurrent max of players. It's got 162,000 there, but it actually, I think it peaked at 168, but we'll take a look at that in a second. But the point of this is, I mean, obviously there's major competition here from rivals, but I mean, they've absolutely blew past the daily, not the all-time peak, don't get me wrong, the all-time peak was like 600,000 for Marvel Rivals. I think it was 680,000, so still a way to go for that. But remember, Overwatch is also available on Battle.net. It's obviously Rivals is available as well on the consoles, but the thing with the PC player base for Overwatch, I do not play on Steam. I play on Battle.net, and Overwatch had over 50 million active users, the original Overwatch, before Overwatch 2 launched. Now, that was across Battle.net and the PlayStation and the Xbox, but the thing is, and also Nintendo Switch, although that's a really small community, but most players are on Battle.net, so I would say it's probably 5 times more players on Battle.net, so whatever this reaches, there's going to be 5 times more of that on Battle.net, so I reckon, and then you add in the consoles, Overwatch is very popular on consoles. I'm fairly sure this would probably be close to 1 million players, 800,000 plus, I would say. Anyway, so yeah, this is good news for Overwatch, but let's take a deeper dive here. So this graph encapsulates the recent success and redevelopment of Overwatch. So you've got the release on Steam. It was immediately downvoted. Now remember, this wasn't the release of Overwatch 2. The Steam release came after. If this was Overwatch 2 Steam release as Overwatch 2 launched, when it went into its kind of like weird soft launch kind of phase, this would have been incredible. The numbers on this would have been massive because you got to remember at that time, Overwatch had like over 1 million viewers in the Twitch category alone. My stream, if any of you guys remember my stream back then, I had 40,000 concurrent viewers on my stream, and I'm not even a primary streamer. The big streamers are getting hundreds of thousands of views. It was insane. So this obviously was after that, but you can see what happened with this graph. It kind of dropped down, and to be honest, from here to here, it's kind of stable, right? There's maybe a little bit of growth, but it's stable. Nothing's really happening. It's Overwatch, tried and tested. It's got its player base. But what they've done here, as you can see, is a massive jump. This is a massive injection of returning players, of new players. So this is almost like a platform for them to launch forward. Now, this is where things, I think, are going to get really interesting for Overwatch. They've got a lot of content coming to the game. They've got 5 new heroes available right now, brand new heroes. Domina, by the way, is a really good tank. I don't think people realise how good Domina is. I'm kind of going off on Overwatch for a moment, but she really forces poke. Now, whether you like playing poke or whatever, but what she's really good at is she can hold off angles with a shield, like really, really well. In fact, I found dropping the shield and actually not even playing with the shield is quite good. Her weapon is great for killing Jetpack Cat, especially with the range perk. But I don't think people realise with her, I can't remember what the ability is called. She throws out that cage and it hits enemies and like puts them in a thing. That thing stops other enemies using their ultimate. So if you see someone about to use an ulti, you can throw it at them and it cancels. It's really strong. But yeah, the heroes are really good. Obviously, Jetpack Cat is taking the it's taking the piss and is also taking the memes. And is a great. I think obviously was designed to do this and is quite overpowered at the moment. But we'll get on to Jetpack Cat in a bit. So yeah, this is really good, right, for Overwatch. They're doing really well from this. The question will be, can they go forward? Okay, the last little quick thing I'll show you is this. This is just Steam top sellers. Overwatch is number 3. Now, Overwatch has always done kind of okay on this when it releases an update, a new season or whatever. But I think this is the highest it's been. The Steam Deck is always up there because it's very expensive. So it has like, it's got obviously less sales, but, more value. Mugenics is obviously a massive launch, right? I actually need to get this and play it myself, but obviously that's massive. So yeah, people have been waiting for that for like literally 10 years, I think. Anyway, so yeah, so this is a good sign for Overwatch. So you see a lot of this, right, going around. Rivals is dead. Overwatch has destroyed it. Blah 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 blah. Now I'm going to be honest with this, right? This screenshot, you're going to see this in a few weeks' time the other way. It'll be Overwatch with 10,000 viewers and then Rivals with 100,000 viewers or whatever. Now, I think this is actually really interesting. You've got people out there that say, it doesn't really matter about competition. A game is going to develop in one way and that's going to be it, right? It really does, though, because when someone comes in and starts taking your lunch money, your dinner money, and they're eating everything you should be eating, then that makes you go, you know what? Maybe I should sort myself out. Do I think Overwatch would have launched or attempted this style of relaunch with 5 new heroes? I don't think so. Maybe they would have done 2 or 3, but 5? That's a lot. Now, one of the things that brings people to Overwatch and to Rivals as well is hero launches. Both these games know this. Now, Rivals, in a lot of ways, is like speedrunning what Overwatch took 10 years to do. So Rivals, they really up their launch schedule with heroes. They basically do 1 hero a month now, which is crazy when you think about it. So that's 12 in a year. But when you look at Overwatch, they're doing 10 this year. So that's a big increase because Overwatch typically would only do 3 heroes a year anyway. So to go to 10 is a massive jump for them. So they've done a lot of work here, Overwatch. So this is, I don't think this would have happened without Rivals. Rivals has got a massive content creator base, a massive streamer base, a massive player base. It's got a massive IP. I mean, it's arguably the only other IP that can really take on what Overwatch is, because Overwatch is a strong world. You guys remember when Overwatch entered the sort of popular zeitgeist back in 2016, 2017, there were people out there that knew the name of the characters. They might not know what the game is, but they know who Tracer was. If you showed somebody Tracer on the street, they'd go, that's Tracer from Overwatch. They knew, right? It was such a powerful thing. And finally, Overwatch is starting to build on that, which I think is it's about time, right? You know, I've sat here for years, like, I've seen Overwatch through thick and thin. I mean, I was playing Overwatch in 2015, back in closed betas. I went to Versailles in Paris to Blizzard to check out preview early builds of the game, and everything. It was just like, I've seen everything this game has done. Obviously, the mistakes it's made have been like criminal, but now it's starting to turn a corner. So what is actually in this update? By the way, this is incredible. This is so sick, and I said as much on Twitter. I was like, you know what? This is actually an insane intro to a trailer. But this style of animation, I think what they're doing is putting the models into something like Blender or something like that, and they've got really high resolution models. They're not the in-game model. It's a much higher resolution model. Years back when Overwatch 2 was launching, they showed me and a couple of the content creators the Genji Mythic skin, and it was like in that style, and it looked friggin' sick. And they did one with the Widowmaker Medusa skin as well, and it looks so good. And I said to them at the time, why don't we use this in marketing material? But they said they can't for whatever reason. But anyway, this is the trailer for the new content, right? So you can see all these new heroes. Mizuki is crazy, by the way. His like stun thing, the chains he throws, it's like it's just so powerful. Emery is really powerful as well. Kind of like maybe the boring one of the new heroes, but he's really strong. And Jetpack Cat is the strongest of them all. He's literally absolutely stupid, Jetpack Cat. And Anran, we'll get onto the Anran drama in a second, because I think that does need a little bit of addressing. But this is, there's a lot of stuff, right? I think obviously the headline fact here is the 5 new heroes. You've got the new maps. There's new daytime and nighttime variations of maps. There's like a load of balance changes, like 30 pages of changes to Stadium, which is just like too much. If anything, like I enjoyed Stadium last year, but I'm actually starting to think I want to like forget Stadium. I want to go back to feel what the game, you know, the core of the game. I think that's probably where I'm going to play. But you know, I'll dip into all the modes. It's nice that all the modes are there, though. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, right? It is nice. So check this out for a trailer. This is Naraka Blade Point. This is like a, I want to say an animated short. It's like a, I think it is. It's CGI. It's not an in-engine render. No, it's CGI. It must be. So this is Overwatch, because it's got a collaboration with this game, and each game is putting skins of its various characters into it, because you see both the mechs there from both the games. This is China only. So this is going to be one of those things which is going to kick up a bit of a fuss, because yeah, you know, to operate the game, I mean, I explained this in a video a while back, I remember, but just to very quickly go over this, to be able to operate in China, you have to have a local Chinese company that will essentially run your property in China. So we know that's NetEase for Blizzard. Now, NetEase is obviously developing certain things for China. There was the whole sort of Talon law thing was put into the game, which was not available in the Western or let's say the non-Chinese version, because it's not fair to say the Western version, because China is the only different version. Like every other region gets the Western version. So yeah, I don't know whether we'll see this come to the rest of the world, because I guess what I was trying to say is you've got these different agreements in place, and they're regional agreements, and then NetEase has got a certain level of autonomy over Overwatch where it can make certain changes and it can do certain events and certain, as we can see, collaborations, which you're not going to see in, I guess, the West. Maybe at some point this will come to the game. I don't know. It does leave a bit of a sour taste in your mouth when you think there is another version of the game out there with different things. I'm not saying I would buy these skins, and again, you guys know I've always got an issue. I mean, there was that Overwatch coins there that were flicking up the screen, but I've always got an issue with the cost of monetization in Overwatch, and in fact, just in free-to-play games in general. It's very expensive. Predatory practices to just, lots of FOMO. That's one of the things Overwatch should do, really, is get rid of the FOMO in the Battle Pass. That, I think, would be a nice PR win, but fortunately, they are ultimately about making money, I suppose. But anyway, I'm not going to play the whole trailer because it's like 5 minutes long, but you can see it's really well made. This is really well made. So let's talk about Anran. This is the statement from Aaron Keller. We'll play this in full.
Thank you all for the incredible reception to last week's Spotlight event. We're sorting through all the questions, comments, excitement, and feedback that you've all shared, and I wanted to take a moment to address one thing in particular. The team is currently discussing what it will take to make Anran look and feel more like the fierce older sister that we all envision her to be. We're so proud of the work that our team has put into Anran and the rest of the 5 heroes launching in Season 1, and we agree that she can be even better if we get this aspect of her right in-game. We discussed sharing this with all of you last week, but wanted to wait until we had confirmation of exactly what we can do. We're hoping to make this update in Season 1, but I don't have specifics to share just yet. Our hero models are incredibly complicated, and we really need to test out what we can do. We're always striving to make Overwatch better, and I think Season 1 is a great example of the dedication and tireless work that our team puts into this game, its universe, and ultimately our players. And we're so excited to share it with all of you when Season 1 launches tomorrow. Thanks for the feedback and support. We couldn't do this without all of you. Please keep it coming.
It's nice to see the Overwatch logo in it. So yeah, that is the game director who honestly, I think Aaron has got to be credited with the course correction and just sort of bringing Overwatch back to where it is now, because I've touched on this in other videos, but there's been a lot of people going in and out of the Overwatch team in management and like lead production roles and such who were having quite a heavy impact on the direction of the game. And that man, Aaron, stayed the course and has actually, I think, has always tried to make the right decisions. Now, we know he's in a corporate hellhole environment. So I think one day it would be very nice to sort of see the whole, expose on Overwatch's new development instead of the old Jeff Kaplan era. Now, let's just look at something else. So Anran's face, let me just be categorically clear here, does not look anything like she looks like in the existing media Overwatch launched. So when Anran launched, I'm not saying her face is bad, and I don't think people are saying that. They're just saying it looks too similar, mainly to Juno. It doesn't look like it's not concept art, but the pre-existing art and media that we've already seen from Overwatch. Now, this account on Twitter, there's a load of these different accounts. They just say things for drama and whatever. But the voice actress for Anran is a streamer. Now, they can have a whole debate of whether it's a good thing to have streamers and content creators as voice actors or in your game. Overwatch does have a pretty bad history with that, especially with esports players and scandals and having to remove content out of the game, and then all kinds of issues like that. Even with developers themselves, I remember Blizzard had the whole sexual abuse scandals and things like that going on, they had to rename Cassidy, right? Cassidy was called McCree because McCree was a developer at Blizzard, but he was involved in lots of nefarious activities, so they had to change the name to Cassidy. Now, yeah, this account says the Overwatch devs have agreed to redesign one of their new heroes after Twitch streamer Faria Anderson and the English actor for Anran demanded Blizzard redesign the character to challenge beauty standards. This isn't accurate. As I said on Twitter, I said, look, I realise this account engagement farms for revenue, but this is inaccurate. Anran's face is being updated to better reflect her design in existing media. Trying to target the voice actor for rage bait is a pathetic attempt to attack them and generate non-existent drama, which it is, right? Because all of this had kicked off before the voice actor said anything anyway. So, yeah. All right, let's move on. I do want to highlight this, though, because I think this is quite an interesting trailer. This is radically different to anything Overwatch has put out. Let me just mute this. Anything Overwatch has put out in the past. Look at this. If anything, this sort of looked like the Helldivers March on Cyberstan trailer. It feels like a Valorant trailer, this does. It feels like something which isn't Overwatch. Like it's like a newer style. Again, they're using those renders, if you look. High resolution renders of the models. This is sick. This is actually a sick trailer. Again, remember, there's links to all of this stuff in the video description below. And what this was for is just a recruitment trailer for, the in-game thing where you can select Overwatch or you can select Talon. But this is like, that's really good, Blizzard. I like that. So this is a new gateway drug into Overwatch. It's Jetpack Cat. Now, this is a hero designed for the absolute memes. It's almost like, dare I say it, a Mercy 2.0. But it's like a Mercy on steroids, because I'm not talking the way the hero plays. I'm just saying on the impact it will have with people going, oh yeah, Jetpack Cat. Now, to all you naysayers out there, Jetpack Cat has been a thing since like 2015, 2016, when Blizzard were messing around with stupid hero designs. They showed off a very early concept design back in, I think it was 2016 BlizzCon, I want to say. It might have been 2017, of Jetpack Cat. I remember I was tweeting about it at the time. I can remember taking pictures of it in the crowd and tweeting about it. But what I'm saying is this is just pure memes. I mean, the way the hero plays, it permanently flies. It's got a speed boost. It can attach to allies and fling them around the map. So you get all crazy stuff with like Diva bombs being picked up and chucked around the map. You've got an ultimate which does the opposite to the enemy. So you can dive onto an enemy player and hook them and throw them off the map. So the memes just write themselves with Jetpack Cat. What I will say, though, is Domina is really good at killing him because she's got like a crazy pulse beam hit scan weapon thing where she's like... And I have a lot of enjoyment killing Jetpack Cat. So, I mean, just to show you, right, here's a clip from Frogger and Aspen. I mean, Frogger's playing Jetpack Cat, and he's just gone launching around the side. He's killed Aspen, though, if you look. I think he had her in the hook, and he dropped her off the map. So, like, what the hell? The memes just write themselves. Like, it's an incredible meme hero. A viewership hero. A player base increaser hero. And this is great, right? Jetpack Cat has wrote its own lore on the website. It's just smashed the keyboard, look. What the hell? All right, so there we go. Overwatch is definitely back. Now, before we all start losing our minds and go, oh, Overwatch is going to take over the world. This is a good start for Overwatch, but for me to be kind of like a bit of a naysayer here, this isn't the level of Overwatch 2's launch. That was a massive, massive launch with like hardly any content. I think we had the Toronto map, and then we had Sojourn, and I think maybe Junker Queen was playable at the start. Kiriko obviously launched with the game, but I'm talking about when it first went into like that sort of, it was like an earlier access thing, whatever. It's not going to be as popular as that because that was, Overwatch was this cherished thing, and it was like everyone was waiting to see what Overwatch 2 would be because it was promised to be this massive, PvE expansion thing, and it had all the drama where that wasn't going to happen. Instead, they were going to focus on PvE and PvP, I should say. And we've been over that to death. Now, though, what we've got is a much better foundation, a modern approach to content cadence, I should say, so the rate at which they make content. Unfortunately, a very modern approach to monetization. And I will say this as well. Their menu in the game, for as much as it's like functional, it does look like a mobile game menu, probably because we're going to see Overwatch Mobile at some point this year, and they want to kind of homogenize it. But I'll say at the moment, the gold standard for in-game menus is Deadlock. Deadlock's menu is a playable area. That's the kind of thing Overwatch should have. Imagine if you could just run around in third person with your character, click on different things. That'd be cool, because menus are fine. Yeah, they're efficient, but it's a game, right? It needs to feel like a game at some point. But anyway, I do think this is a good foundation, and we're going to have to wait and see what they do. They need to keep the updates coming thick and fast. They've committed to lore. Obviously, this year with Overwatch, it's going to have a full story. So it begins with the Reign of Talon in Season 1, and then it's going to go through to the end of the year, probably at BlizzCon this year, so in November. I think it's in November, BlizzCon. Maybe it's October, I don't know. But normally it was in November in the past, but I haven't checked on this recent one. We might start seeing another animated short, which might push forward the next year for season, well, I guess Story Beat 2, maybe not, because I think we're going into Season 1, 2, 3, and 4 this year, I think it was. Again, don't quote me on that. But what I'm saying is, guys, it's a fun time to be an Overwatch enjoyer. It's a fun time to be an old Overwatch fan and come back to Overwatch, because you're not getting something which is radically different than what you experienced in the past. What you are getting is a very well-developed FPS engine, which has high FPS as well. You're getting a very polished experience. You're getting tons of different ways to play the game, from stadium to competitive. You're getting tons of new heroes. And finally, for basically the first time in Overwatch's history, you're getting proper story development, modern story development. We are the story, not things that have happened in the past or things that have, happened in the near future, whatever. This is going to be good for Overwatch, and I'm really excited to see where this goes, and it makes me want to play more Overwatch, because I'll be honest, like probably most of you guys, not been playing loads of Overwatch because it's just it almost didn't feel alive, I think is what I'm trying to say, but maybe it does now. Anyway, this is a huge success. Massive shout out to the devs. They've done an incredible job, and let's see what happens from here on. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Have you come back to play Overwatch? Are you thinking of playing Overwatch for the first time? It will be a good time to get stuck in, because like I said, this is basically like Overwatch 1, just with more content, and it's free to play, and it's got loads of monetization. But yeah, all right guys, thanks for watching the video. I've been Stylosa, and I'll catch you lovely lot on the next one. See you soon.